This incredible story begins in Northern Europe, in Sweden. The first surprise is that this world-renowned brand wasn't created in a large city like Stockholm, but 500 kilometers south in the small town of Älmhult. To get there, you have to take a trip through the countryside and endless forests. It all started here, in this small town of 8,000 inhabitants. Everything here seems quiet, lost in a polar environment. But don't let that fool you. The train station is bustling every day. Thousands of travelers disembark here, and they're all going to the same place.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Immerse.
To Ikea.
At Ikea. Like the rest of us.
They're not here to go shopping. They're here to work. All these people are employed by the Swedish giant. The brand was born in Älmhult, and it's omnipresent. On warehouses, offices, and of course a superstore. Every single road sign mentions a street or a building tied to Ikea. Here the brand has 4,500 employees, half the town's population. They all owe their careers to a single man, the founder of this global brand, Ingvar Kamprad, who's also a very demanding boss.
I ask my employees to dedicate themselves exclusively to Ikea. Of course, they have to take care of their families, but I expect enthusiasm. Their work should be their only passion.
He founded an empire that revolutionized business, but it wasn't a sure bet at first. It all started over 70 years ago. In 1943, a young Kamprad lived in Agunnaryd, a farming town where striking it rich seemed all but impossible. He was living on the family farm when he received his high school degree at 17. Slowly, his timid personality gave way to pure tenaciousness. He had one idea in mind: find a way to get rich fast. But in his hometown, that dream seemed impossible. Nevertheless, he started a small business, never imagining there would someday be a museum that would preciously safeguard those first items, as if they were relics. Barely an adult, Kamprad bought and resold inexpensive products, such as razor blades, decks of cards, and even pens. He sold a little bit of everything. But he was smart. He sold essential, everyday products. He went above and beyond to make a sale, going door to door, from one isolated farm to another. And so he managed to make a little profit, as he was a natural businessman. Such was the impression he made on everyone back then, including Bertil Torekull, now Kamprad's biographer.
When he bought matchboxes for 2 Swedish ören, and he could sell it for 5 cents, he could double the investment when he started to feel the imagination, the fantasy of money, you know.
He followed his instincts. To grow his business, he opened his first shop in front of his parents' house, which is still there today. A tiny 2-square-meter kiosk with standing room only for him and his goods. Ultra-confident, he named his business as if he instinctively knew what it would become. I for Ingvar, K for Kamprad, E for Emtaryd, his family's farm, and A for Agunnaryd, his hometown. That's how this little shack became the first Ikea.
And he loves to earn money. He loves to earn money. That was the way it started, you know.
Kamprad wanted more, so he took a leap into an industry bigger than razor blades. It was in 1948 that everything changed. He placed his bets on what he thought the heavily wooded area could supply massively: furniture. Even though his first products were far from today's designs, like traditional rocking chairs and rustic chairs, he still sold them to his regular clients. But he needed to grow his client base, so he decided to branch out beyond his hometown. He went after the neighboring towns. That's when it got complicated, as Kamprad came up against some serious competition. Like, for example, the Persson family. It was the start of a war that Kamprad would never win. In the early 1950s, the Persson family was king of the local furniture market. They already had a large store that was enough to drive Kamprad mad with envy. Bror Persson remembers it vividly.
He came in a couple of times to see what we had in the store. We even asked him if he needed help. Of course, he said he didn't need any. He came a handful of times, at least 4 or 5 times. He walked down the aisles just like any normal client would. So we paid him no particular attention.
Kamprad dug into his competitors' products. He carried out industrial espionage, trying to figure out how he could get ahead of the Perssons. There was only one solution. He had to sell his furniture for less. But how? That's when Kamprad had a revolutionary idea. He couldn't afford a store downtown, so he decided to keep selling his furniture by mail order. This was his big idea. To advertise his products in the region, he decided to put together a catalogue. It was the first, never before seen in Älmhult. The 60-page photo-filled catalogue had an order form on the back. It may have been a little stern, but it was still much less expensive than managing an entire store.
I must admit, the idea of a catalogue came from Ikea first. We decided to print our own the year after, but it wasn't as efficient.
That's because Kamprad had found another way to sell his products for less. His brilliant idea is still at the heart of Ikea's system today: flat pack furniture. It all started in 1954 with this small coffee table. An employee took it to a studio to take pictures for the catalogue. He thought it would fit in the trunk of his car, but it didn't. So he decided to momentarily cut off the legs so it could lie flat during transport. After testing this system, Kamprad saw a huge potential in shipping furniture in flat boxes that buyers would then assemble themselves. He realized he could also save on manufacturing since his workers would no longer have to do any assembling. And he could save on storage and transportation because the unassembled furniture took up less room. The results were spectacular. This table went from 45 krona to just 34. Just like that, buyers saved 25%. His competition was blindsided.
Ikea had a new business model. They did something that we, the other furniture retailers, had never thought to do. I think that's why he was so successful. All the other furniture sellers had always been conservative. We never wanted to innovate.
Empowered by his ideas, Kamprad decided to step it up a notch. He thought he had what it took to become the region's new furniture king. But to overtake the Perssons, he needed to have his own showroom to showcase his low-cost furniture to prospective buyers. He wanted his store to be the biggest in town, but real estate in the city centre was simply too expensive. So he decided to build his store outside of town. He bought a massive yet inexpensive plot of land and took a huge gamble. It was here in 1958 that he built his first superstore, just off the main national highway. It was an ultra-modern building. Despite being outside of town, clients flocked to his store. Attracted by his low prices, his gamble paid off. For insight, we meet Johan Stenebo, who's been at Ikea for almost 20 years. He was Kamprad's closest collaborator in the 2000s. He believes the visionary store was behind his success.
There, he could sort of see what happened. He could see the general trends into the future. And in those days, in the 50s, was that he could already in those days fathom the strength of every man owning his own car. And with people owning their own vehicles.
Inside the superstore were hundreds of pieces of furniture and piles of mattresses for the taking. People couldn't believe it. To service customers, Kamprad hired a team of saleswomen. Among them was Astrid Davidson, a 27-year-old who would become a prominent figure in the company. Here she is 58 years later. She still lives in Älmhult and says she'll never forget the opening of that first Ikea store.
That's where I worked. This is the entrance where we greeted the clients.
She confirms that Kamprad's low-cost approach was the right choice.
People came for one reason only, the low prices. We were the cheapest. Sure, the other stores had the same furniture we did, but they couldn't compete with us.
At the Ikea Museum, Astrid dives into her memories, joyfully recounting the early days of the company.
Even at my age, I'm still going back to Ikea. Oh, there's Ingvar on the screen.
Kamprad's system was so efficient that everything felt easy to Astrid.
Oh, I remember these chairs. Yes. They were called Klimt, I think. I sold tons of them.
There was just one thing the team had trouble explaining: furniture kits.
I have to admit, back then, people had never heard of furniture kits, which you had to assemble yourself at home. That was new. They underestimated how much work it was. Personally, I confined myself to shipping furniture. I just took the orders and the boxes were delivered.
Astrid wasn't upfront with clients about assembling the furniture themselves, but the prices were so low that few people complained. With its superstore, furniture kits and low prices, Kamprad's system skyrocketed. But Kamprad's arrogant success stirred jealousy amongst his competitors, who, unbeknownst to him, were starting to plot with a view to quite simply destroying his business. In town, the anger mounted. Other furniture retailers were infuriated with this unexpected competition, including the Perssons. They put together an aggressive strategy aimed at putting Kamprad out of business.
All the other vendors, including Ikea, had the same suppliers. So we all got together and decided we'd no longer do business with anyone who sold to Ikea. That meant that if they worked with Ikea, they'd lose all their other customers. Under that kind of pressure, all the suppliers stopped selling to Ikea.
It was a radical move. Practically overnight, Kamprad lost his entire supply chain of designers and manufacturers. He only had enough stock to last a few weeks. He was forced to find new suppliers outside of Sweden, which cost him an arm and a leg in transportation. His low-price strategy was in a bad way, but an unexpected country would step in to save the day. A neighboring country, less than 600 kilometers from Älmhult, on the other side of the Baltic Sea, Poland. A nation with a lot of forests and furniture makers. In 1960, Kamprad received a call from a Polish official in Warsaw. The communist nation offered to make all of his furniture for a great price, as they were looking to open up to new markets. They needed work. Kamprad jumped at the opportunity, but there was a problem. The Poles only made furniture, they didn't conceive it. For the first time, Ikea had to design its own furniture. Kamprad thus decided to set his work apart from his competitors. He came up with a style young, practical, and above all, modern design that would become Ikea's style. It was a hit.
He's focused on the future. He wants Ikea to stick to their values, you know, to do things for the many people. Simple things, cheap things, nice things.
Kamprad's new furniture was sold using a technique that led to a surge in sales. As you may have noticed, a visit to an IKEA store is like a guided tour through a maze of sections that pushes you to buy more. IKEA long refined this strategy and made it a point to keep it a secret. But there is one person who eventually figured it out. The strategy was revealed in London after being minutely studied at one of the most prestigious universities in the UK, UCL.
How are you?
Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Come this way.
I follow.
The architecture department is headed by Alan Penn, a specialist in decoding superstores and a highly esteemed professor. Penn studied Kamprad's sales strategy in detail and spent days reviewing his store plans.
This is a map of an IKEA store, and it's the IKEA store in North London.
As an architect, Penn was intrigued by IKEA's extremely complicated floor plan.
When I first went to an IKEA store, I got completely lost, and I couldn't understand what the logic was for a shop owner to make a shop in which you got lost.
The professor soon realized that all clients navigated the maze-like design exactly as IKEA had intended, a way that is designed to increase sales.
You come in with certain things you're looking for, but because you can't find those straight away because it is very confusing, you're taken past many other opportunities of things you didn't know that you wanted. But when you see them, then you think, oh, I want one of those, and you put it into your basket.
A compulsory route. It was an idea Kamprad had seen before at the Guggenheim Museum in New York, a structure of spectacular architectural design. The building is completely circular, designed to guide visitors on a path that takes them by every single work of art, without missing a single one. Kamprad used this idea to send his sales through the roof. In his study published in 2011, Alan Penn estimated that 67% of the products people buy at IKEA are impulsive buys that are not on their original shopping list. But how does IKEA lead us like horses chasing a carrot on a stick?
Go to IKEA and we'll start here and walk around. Okay. Do you want to come?
Yeah.
Come.
We go with Penn for a demonstration that will forever change the way you experience your local IKEA.
Right into the around.
This is the shop.
His theory has been thoroughly vetted. He's tested it in the London store dozens of times himself. We follow with a hidden camera. According to the professor, the Swedish brand's entire strategy relies on these arrows on the ground. Without them, we would be lost in the purposefully complicated floor plan.
Can you say where the entrance is? Or where the car is? Which direction? Point in the direction of the car. You have no idea, because you've been going around and around in circles. Yeah?
According to the professor, the best way to get clients along the predetermined path is to first disorient them.
You know where is the entrance, for example?
Okay, so the entrance would be... I have no idea, maybe up that way?
It's impossible to figure out on your own. You have to trust the arrows. And yet there are shortcuts. They're just not clearly indicated, so you often walk right by them.
The route here is obvious. You go this direction. You've turned now. But there is a way through there. You can do, but as you come from here, you don't see it.
We walked right by the passage without even seeing it. But that's not by chance.
That is not obvious. That is obvious. Yeah, so you go that way. And as you come to here, you already turn, and as soon as you turn, that's behind you. Yeah, so you never see that. If you know, you can cut off the whole loop.
These shortcuts are designed for the real store experts, the salespeople, so they can move around efficiently. But that's not all. According to Penn, the stores also confuse our sense of time. None of the aisles have windows.
Sure, it is like a casino. Yeah. It's like Las Vegas.
Can you explain what? Why it's like Las Vegas, you said? Can you explain what?
No idea of day or night. You can't see the outside. It's confusing. There's a lot going on.
With no sense of time, we let ourselves be guided by the arrows. The store is able to direct our attention towards its real moneymakers, the many low-priced accessories that abound in every aisle, most of which we hadn't planned to purchase.
For £1, yes? This is less than a cent to make, yeah? From China or wherever they make it, yeah? This is probably 1,000% profit. You come and you get a really good bargain on the furniture, and you treat yourself on those, you think, it's only £1. I'm spending £80 on the bed, yes? It's only £1 for these. Oh, I'll have 4.
According to the professor, that's how IKEA gets us to leave the store having purchased 66% more items than anticipated. That's how every year the company continues to build more stores. In the 1960s, IKEA went out to conquer the world. After Sweden came Europe, then China and the United States. Hundreds of millions of clients seduced by the company's cheaper designer goods, always beautifully presented. A dresser for €69, a shelf for $9.99. But how does IKEA manage to produce furniture that only costs a couple of dozen euros? Investigating IKEA's fabrication secrets took a lot of determination, especially without their permission. We tried our luck with the brand's subcontractors. Their response was less than encouraging.
We can't help you unless you have permission from the client. So ask them, because it won't be possible otherwise.
But we refused to give up. Our entire editorial team got involved to find a solution. This was a lot of work. The Swedish company has over 1,000 subcontractors worldwide. We contacted more than 100 all over the globe. In Poland, in Italy, and even in Indonesia. They all gave us the same answer, different wording, but we were stonewalled every time. We're unable to schedule a visit. We cannot respond favorably to your request. We have to decline. But after a month of relentless calls, one manufacturer gave us hope.
What we do is manufacture products that IKEA likes.
This subcontractor for the Swedish brand agreed to let us visit.
When would be a good time?
I think next week is best.
We made an appointment for the following week. We headed to Denmark, 300 kilometers from Copenhagen, to a town called Farvang. The heart of the countryside is where Tvillum is based, a global leader in cheap furniture kits. It's hard to imagine, but that table in your living room might have come from here. A 49,000 square meter factory. These state-of-the-art machines produce some 6 million products every year. They're shipped to all 4 corners of the earth and sold at large retailers like Conforama, and of course, IKEA. The man in charge is Andrew Long, and all these companies want to work with him because he's become an expert at making something look nice, even when it's cheap.
You see, the drawers are fully extendable. You have nice space to get into the drawers, and also inside here.
In his showroom, you could even be duped into thinking some products are high-end items.
Especially in the Nordics, where we have a modern style and then we have a country-based style. This is more country style.
So how does Andrew offer his goods at such competitive prices? Especially when one looks closely at the product finishes, it certainly seems to be expensive exotic wood or pricey solid oak. To find out more about their techniques, we followed the boss into the workshop. We were expecting to be hit with the sound of a saw and the smell of freshly cut wood planks, but no. Because this is their primary raw material, various kinds of shredded wood mixed together. Wood shavings that are then spliced, dried and pressed to form planks. It's known as pressed wood or particle board. Andrew's factory swears by it. There are stacks of pressed wood here. And no matter how hard we look, there's not a trace of pine or oak. That's because this pressed wood costs 6 to 10 times less than solid wood.
It's chipboard, but it's made of small chips from wood. It's cheap and it's within our scope of business. You can actually make a lot of different nice furniture out of raw material like this.
Andrew uses the same manufacturing process for all his partner companies, including Ikea. That's how the brand can sell low-cost wooden furniture. Like this dresser for less than 50 euros, or this shelf for 69 euros. To know what these products are made of requires reading the fine print of the product description. It's the only place where pressed wood appears. Meanwhile, other more expensive products made of solid wood proudly display that description right next to the price. Now to discover by what magic Andrew manages to transform these unattractive pressed wood planks into something like this, or this, both of which look a lot nicer. We followed Andrew in hopes of getting an answer. But just before we could see the big reveal...
What are those rolls? Can we see them?
He cuts us off.
Yeah, I'd rather not take pictures of that because that doesn't make any sense.
Oh yes, it does make a lot of sense to us, because those large rolls are the secret we're looking for. It's a coating like this one in white, no thicker than a piece of paper, that's glued to the pressed wood planks. And one could easily be mistaken by this oak-printed sheet. This is one of the many cosmetic processes used to make cheap furniture look nicer than it really is.
This is paper. Paper that reassembles real wood, and paper is very cheap.
Paper glued to pressed wood. And when companies use this technique, they give it a classy-sounding name, laminate finish. That's how they manufacture furniture so cheaply. Once the planks are ready, Andrew's work is almost done. All that's left to do is cut everything to size and drill holes for the screws.
So this is an example on a panel running down the machine lines. You see the hole, you see it's been edge banded like this. Then it's been pre-drilled some holes for the handles that goes here, and then the panel's ready to go.
The furniture is shipped as is to the store, in pieces. Andrew avoids the additional cost of having workers assemble everything. Instead of his employees doing it, it's the buyer that does. A job that can vary depending on your skill level. Leslie and Glenn are headed home after buying a dresser and a shelf in the store, in a box.
Oh.
After climbing 2 sets of stairs,
I'm smart.
There's still a lot of work left, because their dresser is in pieces. The shelves, the screws and the drawers' rails all need to be assembled. But the young couple is confident. Ikea includes instructions in every box that guide you through the process.
How long will it take you to build it? An hour and a half?
45 minutes?
45 minutes, that would be fast.
I don't know.
They're off to a good start. It seems like child's play. You just line up the notches with the holes and lay down the planks. It's all finished in less than 30 minutes. But when it comes to the drawers, it's a different story. Especially without the necessary tools.
You're not putting it straight.
Or without any tools at all.
It's an Ikea knife. It works.
It takes more time than anticipated. They've spent the last 3 hours struggling to assemble the drawers. Finally, they're almost ready to celebrate.
Do you want a medal?
Except the last drawer won't fit.
It's not in right.
This thing never ends. I can't believe it. Ah, it's the screw. It's the screw.
It's not in right, that's why.
For these unequipped amateur assemblers,
Cool.
it took 3.5 hours to build this dresser.
Well, that's done.
That's the downside of buying flat-pack furniture. You have to assemble it yourself. And if Ikea can convince you to buy its products anyway, it's not just for the low prices. To win you over, the company also uses one of its most powerful commercial weapons. Its catalogue. And they do everything they can to help you imagine their furniture in your home. Already out of the box, of course. They're shown fully built in situations like this artist workspace, where you can easily imagine yourself taking a much-needed break. Or this large Parisian living room, where kids have a lot of play space. Barbecue lovers will drool over this downtown apartment with its huge terrace, perfect for enjoying family time around a good meal. Surrounded by Ikea products, of course. Couches, chairs, pots, indoor greenhouses, dishware. Everything in the catalogue is for sale. You could think that Ikea travelled the world in search of that delightful house by the sea or that perfect cosy London apartment. But in reality, the people making the catalogue didn't even travel at all. It all happens at an ultra-secret location at the Swedish company's headquarters. It took us 6 months to get access. Back to the city of Älmhult. Ikea's PR representative meets us in the middle of a street. Ikea Street.
Hey, how are you? Fine, thank you.
She first takes us on a tour of the property.
Here we go. We can go by with the car? Yes. Yeah.
By car, of course, because this is more than Ikea's head office. It's practically its own city.
Yeah. What is it?
That is Ikea Industry. It's our...
All this?
Yeah, all this is Ikea Industry. It's our own supplier. That's the Ikea Test Lab.
The company has over 15 huge buildings throughout
That is
Älmhult.
something called a meeting center. That's a conference building for Ikea. So this building over here, it's called Ikea of Sweden. Yeah. That's our product development center.
After traveling for 5 kilometers, we finally get to the catalogue studios. Having permission to film is rare, and the PR representative reminds us to respect this privilege.
So you can film your interviews, but nothing else inside.
We're about to meet the woman behind the catalogue, the mastermind that goes all out to get you to spend as much as possible. Susan Pulvere is the marketing director.
Hey, Susanne.
Hello, nice to meet you, Gregory.
Lucas, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Sorry for being a little bit late.
No problem.
No, it's all right.
She's in the middle of preparing the September catalogue. We're about to find out to what lengths Ikea will go to get us to dream big. It all happens at an ultra-secret location, usually off-limits to cameras. Ikea's photo studio is 8,000 square meters, the size of a soccer pitch. It's Hollywood for furniture.
So we are building up a new inventory. So here we are, there we do all the, when we do different stitching or textiles. And then here is...
Here Susan can build up to 60 interiors just like this one.
To show a collection, how you can combine and put together a nice bedroom.
She can recreate any interior she likes. This one's a New York-style duplex loft, complete with a spiral staircase. You might recognize this staircase if you look closely. It's already been in previous catalogues, like here in a loft, here in a living room, or here in a Moroccan-themed country home. The decor is recycled, but so are the brand's signature products. Like this couch named Ektorp, a star of the catalogue for over 20 years. Every season it's featured in a new way. Here, this one with pillows in a cozy living room. Here in a flower-themed room. Or here, one with pink stripes. When you look out of the window and see these American skyscrapers or a vast prairie, it looks so real. But those are just posters that make you feel like you're traveling. A successful illusion.
Yeah.
Are we almost done?
Susan rushes us through the studio. We have trouble keeping up.
Could
you just slow down a little bit?
Okay.
It seems the marketing director and her 2 PR assistants didn't want us lingering.
I mean, we have been very, very strict to take journalists in. I can check here if I have a photographer here, what is...
Especially when we get too close to some of the products.
Oj, nu har vi faktiskt några journalister här, men
We have journalists here. What are you working on?
Chinese porcelain.
Don't reveal any new products.
This photographer is working on a new collection still under embargo.
Let's not show them. The bosses wouldn't like it.
Susan seems uncomfortable.
Here it's, but I'm not sure you can film inside, but as an example...
They don't want competitors seeing next season's products too early. The company hates knockoffs.
So here you have the interior.
Is it possible to see a part of the room?
We cannot film inside. No, sorry.
As I said, you should be happy you are in here at all.
The brand wants to keep its trade secrets under wraps. That's how it's become the world's #1 furniture company. An obsession with secrecy much like that of the company's founder, who thought up the entire Ikea system. He knew all your habits, but we knew nothing about him. He was one of the world's most secretive top-level executives, and he avoided journalists ever since one of his secrets leaked to the press. It was in 1994 when a Swedish newspaper dropped the bomb. According to Expressen, the founder of Ikea had been actively involved in a Nazi movement. The same newspaper also published this photo of him wearing the Swedish Fascist Party logo on his jacket. The scandal caused global shockwaves and threatened to dismantle his empire. Kamprad had no choice but to come out of the shadows and deliver his mea culpa on camera.
I didn't know it was associated with Nazism. I didn't realize it was cruel or brutal. It's only once I became an adult that I really understood what Nazism was and started to detest all that. I truly regret this colossal personal failure on my part.
Since his public apology, Kamprad's media appearances had been limited until he passed away in 2018 at the age of 91. However, a year before his death, we went investigating in Sweden, where we discovered he still had many hidden secrets, which we can now share with the following footage. After spending 35 years in Switzerland, he returned to his home country near Almhult, where Mr. Ikea has been invisible, even in his own fief.
Ingvar Kamprad, you know, the founder of Ikea.
Ikea, oh, the famous guy.
Do you want to meet him?
Yeah.
Ingvar?
Yeah.
Oh, good luck with that.
The locals weren't very helpful. Ikea employs quite a lot of people in these parts.
You know some people who works for Ikea?
Yeah, my girlfriend's mother.
My wife. But I work for a little smaller company.
The most of my friends is working on Ikea. It's the main place for all workers. So.
People weren't willing to make an enemy of the area's #1 employer. They would rather respect his privacy. Ingvar Kamprad now lives in his hometown, 25 minutes from Almhult. Agunarid, a village of 600 inhabitants with a single gas station for a business. Would you believe that one of Europe's richest men does his grocery shopping in this mini-mart? A man who, according to his staff, has remained simple, despite being a billionaire.
He lives like a normal person, like me, or Lasse. He drives an old car. He's about 90. He doesn't care so much about how rich he really is, because, you know, he started from the bottom.
What is it?
The shopkeeper knows his little habits. Ingvar Kamprad comes in every Saturday.
No, yes, also, but I think he have it in the mornings, in the milk. He loves this one.
What is it?
It's snus. You put it on the lip.
Oh, it's here. No.
Even though he's retired, Kamprad still has a businessman's wits and can't help questioning the gas station's pricing. This was filmed by a Swedish television station 11 years ago. One of the interviews he agreed to, showing Kamprad giving a business lesson to the gas station store manager.
How much is the chewing tobacco?
26 krona.
That's too expensive.
Too expensive?
You should sell it for 25.
The Ikea founder even revealed some of the secrets that made him rich.
I buy candy at a food wholesaler not far from here. It's really inexpensive. Then I resell the candy at Ikea. It's one way I make money. Clients help themselves while waiting in line, and I make a margin. And during Christmas time, I make a lot of money on candy because the kids love it.
In Sweden, when Mr. Ikea gives advice, people take it seriously. It was his idea to enlarge the cafeteria here and to offer free coffee to attract customers. Did Kamprad have a hard time being retired? Officially, his 3 children now hold the reins of the company. But unofficially, things are not so clear-cut. Kamprad Sr. is said to keep a close eye on his empire. That's what we're about to discover as we dive deeper into the Swedish forest. At a bend in the road, we see a white Volvo, much like the one the shopkeeper described. Maybe it's Ingvar Kamprad's.
I'm looking for the Mr. Kamprad house.
Yeah.
Do you know if it's there?
No. The driver is a young man in his 20s, but not just anyone.
Which one? Because is it with the big farm in I'm sorry?
It's further that way.
As we start to talk, he recognizes our French accent.
It's down there. You speak French? Yes.
He speaks French with a slight Swiss accent, the country where the Kamprad family lived.
My name's Greg. What's yours? Robin.
We're talking to one of Ingvar Kamprad's heirs. Robin is his grandson, and he could well become the boss of the Ikea empire one day.
I was told it's on this road, is that right? No, it's not there. It's not? It's over there. I'll follow you. Okay, you can show me the way. Yeah, I'll follow you.
We're getting closer to our goal. The young man agrees to show us his grandfather's house.
This is it, yeah? But please don't disturb him right now. Sure. Thanks, Robin.
Ingvar Kamprad lives in this house. A large farm with no sign of a billionaire's opulence. We wait, hoping for Robin to come back. A minute later, a woman comes over, and her tone is rather firm.
We will not let you in. We will not let you make an interview with Ingvar. Yeah.
Who is this woman who screens visitors outside Ingvar Kamprad's house?
Small. Okay. I took care of his children. And I've been working for...
We try to set up a meeting.
Okay. If you're okay, I will let you my number phone. Mr.
Yeah,
Kamprad.
if you have a card, give. I shall talk to his secretary.
Okay.
Yeah, then she can answer for Ingvar.
Okay,
yeah?
Great.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you again.
Take care.
Thank you, you too.
Bye. Bye.
And then we waited. Waited for his assistant to call. In vain. But our quest for Kamprad wasn't completely unfruitful. As we drove back, we noticed a bus parked outside the Kamprad house. Who could be visiting him at night? Bertil Torekul, his friend and biographer, enlightened us.
He's living alone on the second level. On the first level, there's a lot of conferences every day going around. So he has a lot of opportunities every day to see members of the staff. And you will imagine he has 150,000 people all over the world working for Ikea. And that's the top people coming to this farm where they have a conference establishment now, you know.
At 90 years old, Ingvar Kamprad is still at the helm from his own living room. The man behind the world's largest furniture retailer is still very much active in his company.